funny having the channel. You folks see me going off, wandering about on my bike like this, and it possibly fosters the illusion that I'm someone who knows what he's talking about in this arena, which is demonstrably not true. If you've watched any of my live stream bike tinkering videos, you will have seen not a deft-fingered cycle ninja, but a numpty learning this stuff as he goes along. A wise man once said, a numpty with a YouTube channel is still a numpty. But for better or for worse, I have got a YouTube channel, and I think because of that, people from time to time come to me with questions. And usually these are about gear or routes, and I'll answer if I can, or honestly shrug my shoulders if I don't think I can be of help. But because of the sort of things that I talk about on this video, I also get not personal questions, but more broad questions that require a little more thought to answer, and that sometimes turn into videos. YouTube give me a lot of stats, so I have a pretty good idea of who the audience is for this channel. If I was to place a bet, you watching this now are male, 45 plus. It wouldn't be a sure thing, but it would be odds in my favour, definitely. And so within that bracket, there are going to be a few folk who are thinking about retirement, and they're thinking about spending some of that retirement on the bike. And so quite a few times I've been asked, am I at X years of age too old to ride whatever route it is that I'm thinking about? And on the surface, this is a reasonable question, but the first time I started thinking about it, I realised that actually it's the wrong question, because almost without exception, the answer is going to be no, you're not too old, because age doesn't really come into it. Some of the common physical side effects of age might play a part, but your actual numeric count of years should never be a deciding factor in whether or not you're going to do anything, really. Yeah, the question being asked isn't, am I too old for this route? It's actually, is this route too hard for me in whatever state I'm currently existing in? And that is a more reasonable question, though no easier to answer. And I think it falls out of this misconception about bikepacking and cycle touring, because to all intents and purposes, they are the same thing, and I will defend that opinion in the comments. The misconception that bikepacking and cycle touring are inherently hard, and I just don't think that's true. As humans, we love to challenge ourselves, and whether that challenge comes in the form of a particularly hard crossword or an ultra marathon, I think the drive is probably the same. We do these things for no other reason than that we find them difficult. And once you've found the particular flavour of challenge that you want to take on, you look into it, you research it, you try and get better at it. And so, if you do a Google search for any arbitrary pastime, you'll find the freaks and the outliers. If you Google model railways, you'll find that guy who's turned his entire house and garden into a scale model of the Chinese high-speed rail network. If you Google for bikepacking, you'll find that crazy woman cycling to the South Pole, or the wild-eyed, leather-skinned Frenchman hiker biking the Himalayas with no shoes on. You know, those kind of things. And that's exciting, and it's inspiring to see those stories unfolding. But it's also intimidating, because it takes away from the reality that for every one of those stories, there's 1,000 stories about Alice and Bob from Coventry who had an amazing fortnight cycling around Provence. They still had to deal with inclement weather, navigation, mechanical difficulties. They still had to climb big hills. But it's all relative. You know, what constitutes a real challenge to someone might be a walk in the park for you and certain death for me. Despite what YouTube and Instagram might present of me, I'm not a hardcore bikepacker. I've done a few rides, but in the 12 years that I've been doing multi-day rides, my daily average distance is probably 35 miles. I have long mornings. I enjoy my coffee. I stop often during the day to look at beautiful views, to snack in fantastic places. If I find somewhere particularly fantastic, I might just pitch, enjoy an evening at camp, whip a spoon, do a sketch, just be out there in it. I have no interest in covering huge distances in record times. And when you come at bikepacking from that angle, you realise that a multi-day ride is just a load of day rides that happen to fall on consecutive days. You know, you might carry a bit of kit with you and you'll be sleeping in a tent, but if those things impact your ability to ride during the day, then just do some shorter days. Do some days when you don't ride at all. You know, you're out there to enjoy yourself. So set your own limits, set your own pace. You are beholden to no one and nothing. Embrace that. And whether this is a retirement ride, or your big tour in the year off before university, or you've only just got into cycling during lockdown and you've never been on a long ride before, I still don't think the question, is this route too hard for me, is it very useful? Because you can get yourself up to a level of fitness, whatever you think you need. You should anyway, it's good for you. The important question, you've already answered because you're here. The important question is, do I want to do this? Because no matter how fit you are, there's going to be hard days, bad weather, big climbs, that kind of thing. And in those moments, what gets you through is willpower. It's being able to look at your situation and say, yeah, it's hard, but I chose this. I chose this as my challenge. And I'm nearly at the top of this hill, and the weather can break in half an hour. And even if it doesn't, I chose this. I'm colouring in a portion of my life. I don't get to choose exactly what colour it is, but I know that when I look back on it from some future perspective, it's going to be colourful, it's going to be bright, it's going to stand out. I'm having an adventure. If you have a desire in your head to do something and the opportunity to do it, you owe it to yourself to do it. And people have from time to time also messaged me on this channel saying that a video I made inspired them to go on a bike ride. And that is the best possible feedback I can get to these things. If I get to the end of my count of days and on my gravestone it says, here lies Jethro, he inspired a few people to go on bike rides, I'll take that. That's not so bad. So this is me trying to be inspiring. In answer to the question in the title of this video, what are the reasons not to go on that trip? None, pretty much, except for crippling physical injury, I would say. Go out, try it. If you get halfway and it really is too hard, or you find you're not enjoying it, knock it on the head, get on a train, go home. There's no shame in that, I've done it. At least you will have had that little taste of an adventure. Summit to eat macaroni cheese. Oh, good God. I think I've made a horrible mistake. Yeah, that's right. Cheese soup. As is very often the way, I've embarked on one of those rambling stream of consciousness type videos that I tend to do without a real end point in sight, and I've got a little bit lost. So I'm just going to sort of peter out, really. If you're a hardcore pro with a bunch of rides under your belt, then you should really be planning the next one, because you know you love it. If you're considering your first big ride and you're having reservations, then just do it. It's not as hard as you think, and you might love it. I love it. Now, I'm out today just on a day ride, get my legs in for this Scotland trip in a month. I'm gonna do maybe, I don't know, 60 or 70K, but as I said, the distance isn't the thing. The thing is that I found some lovely trails to ride, sun's been shining, birds have been singing, and I feel amazing. I feel like a different person to who I am at home and at work and in every other walk of life. I don't know what it is. I recommend it. Get out there and have a taste. That's that. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. It all helps. And if you've been completely awed by my insightful nonsense, go have a look at the Ko-fi page. Yeah. There's not really much there, to be honest. This is the opportunity to help support the channel, get early access to the videos, occasional random posts and pictures. Nothing very consistent at the moment. One day maybe. For now, I've got about 15, 20 kilometers to get home, so I'm gonna get on it.